All right, everybody, we are back with another episode of Wealth for the Culture, man. It is your host, Ollie Brady. And this week, what I'm going to do this week is a lot of people been asking me about the different business ventures I got going on, what happened with Turo, my cleaning business I got going, different things of that nature, new sector, a new industry I'm branching into. So I just figured this would be a good time to come check in with y'all, give y'all an update. And I'll probably start doing these like once a month or so just to give y'all a little sense of where I'm at on my journey, man, generational wealth, and just getting my time freedom, man. Y'all know that's the ultimate goal for me. To help everybody else out along the way. So I figured why not get on here, give y'all an update, give y'all the raw transparency of getting out of one business, starting up another, and my reasoning for doing that, and just kind of breaking down everything to you all. On my journey. So first and foremost, man, I know we took a week off. It was much needed. It was real hectic. I had some stuff I had to take care of. I do appreciate everybody for still tuning in, weekly. It's about 100 of y'all that every week y'all tap in. So I appreciate every single one of y'all that tap in with me every week. And I'm gonna keep putting out quality content. Uh, I'll be back to guest next episode. Y'all ain't gotta worry. But I did want to get on here, man, on a solo episode. I don't do these often. So I wanted to get on here, kind of go over everything I got going on, man, and just a little topic I want to talk about as well for anybody else thinking about getting started on their journey. So maybe you want to tap in entrepreneurship. So just give y'all some of the pros and the cons, and just kind of break down my journey so far. So originally, y'all knew that I was doing Turo, and so with Turo, the way that went was it was working great. I was making about $1,000 a month, which in terms of like what I was bringing home, I was making enough, between that and renting out cars, which I started to luck up and I started, catching rides to work with one of my employees. And so I was able to carpool with him, and he didn't really want much in return. So it was a win-win for me. So I was able to start renting out my car and maximize the profit. So what that essentially did was it eliminated a car note for me. I pocketed, a few $100s a month. On top of that, I was bringing in 1,000 gross a month. So it was pretty good. I did that for 4 months or so, 4 or 5 months. But with the rate that the car market is moving, the used car market especially, if y'all don't know, y'all have seen the prices skyrocketing like this. I think prices are up in the last year or so over 40%. So that being said, what I decided to do was I've been getting offers for my Jeep that y'all know I had listed on the platform, and they were willing to give me literally 6 grand more than what I paid for it. So to me, it's a no brainer. I had that vehicle probably 6, 7 months. So you telling me I can make a pretty much $10,000, and we're talking about majority of that put in my pocket. I can make $10,000 total in 7 months off of a vehicle, which is usually a depreciated asset. We've turned it into a liability. I'm able to generate some cash on that. I mean, I can't really complain. So what I did was I sold the Jeep. It was, I would say it was tough, but it really wasn't that bad. That's my second Jeep I've owned. It was a great experience on Turo. A few things I will say: make sure y'all get a GPS tracker because it's not worth the headache of being panicking like me. Y'all know I had a little issue where I got one installed, messed up my wire, so I had to take it out and just roll dirty, man, and have to trust the customers. And luckily, based off of how y'all know I did it, I moved closer to the airports. Also, I wanted to get closer to the city because I'm out here in Dallas. So it was a win-win for me. I was able to get close to the city, makes it easier to go network and things like that, and link up with people that are out here making moves like myself. Also, I'm closer to the airport, so it cut down on my expenses. I was able to maximize profit. Most of my guests were coming into the airport, so I didn't have to worry too much about not having a GPS. I didn't really do too many local people, but I stayed consistently booked. I believe personally, and I mean, this is even with raising my prices, after the first 3 bookings or so, 2 or 3 bookings. I was raising my price every booking after that first one. But then I leveled out at about $70 for a delivery fee. I was doing about, I think, like 60 a day at one. Might have been a little bit more. Shoot, what was I doing a day? I'm sorry about this. I can't even remember. I think I got up to, okay, honestly, yeah, I got up to 70 a day. So I capped out at 70 a day for my bookings. And on the weekends, that was during the week. On the weekends, I was doing 75 to 80, depending on the weekend. So really started picking up around football season. So and I was getting a little more busy because of the job I was working at the time. That was I switched to day shift. But recently, I've transitioned out of that. As y'all know, I'm going into the IA industry. If you don't know now, you know. It's for me. I'm about maximizing how much money I can bring in as quick as possible. Also, I wanted to get into an environment where I could work from home. So I've got an appointment. I start that actually Friday. That's shoot in a few days actually from this recording. So I'll start that soon, and I'll be working some long hours, but it'll be worth it because when I'm not on a deployment, I can kind of chill out, work on other things. And for me, that's where I really want to get to be able to kind of branch out and do other things, throughout the year and not just be tied down to going to an office every day. Also, working from home, you're able to maximize your amount of time, also cut down on the commute time. And with gas prices where they are right now, that's another thing that's saving me right now. I'm going to save on expenses. So I'm not got to be commuting to work, you know, 35, 40 minutes a day, well, really there, 40 minutes back. So talk about over an hour of commute time a day, or like an hour and a half or so of commute time that I won't have to worry about anymore. And so that's just real big, cutting a lot of expenses, switching to this lifestyle, man. And I'm just really prepping for cat season. I didn't expect to get an appointment this quick, but hey, you never know, man, when things happen and when an opportunity presents itself, man, you got to jump on it. So I was able to land a position. It's going to bring me in a little bit more actually than what I was making at my 9 to 5. So that's a blessing. I can't complain. So that being said, back to why I got out of Turo, it was mainly just because of the price that they were offering. Man, used car prices are crazy right now. So I got a car. I'll probably keep it. I got an Impala. I'll probably keep it for a year or so. I may put it on Turo since I'm gonna be working from home. It might just be a smart thing to do because that'll just be extra money on top of what I'm doing with my work from home job. But what the real reason was for doing this is, for one, I didn't want to be tied down a lot of overhead with the car market because you're over leveraging yourself if you're not partnering up with people. So you buy these cars, you're talking about thousands of dollars you're spending on a vehicle. Most of the times you're gonna be put into a loan situation. So I just wanted to get ahead of that, and I was just like, you know what? I've been looking at the cleaning business thing for a good while, and I bought the Hartzell's course, which I've had them on this podcast in the past. Y'all can check out their episode; they'll be coming back on soon enough, so we could dive a little bit more into the cleaning business and their experience. And they teach other people. To me, that course is worth the money. You'll get your return on. I got my return on investment already. I'm starting my business, so that 6,000 I told y'all I made selling that Jeep, that was used to fund the business. So I took 5,000 of that. I kept 1,000 for myself. I took the other 5,000 or so, and I used that to launch the cleaning business. So I didn't spend any of my money to launch this. So I figured you honestly could get started with under $1,000, but I wanted to be able to dive into marketing, paid marketing, and hit the ground running. So I've kind of tested out a few things. I'm working on going on my second month. First month wasn't all that great, and that was mainly because I was still figuring things out. Also, the platforms I was on don't really recommend, and I figured that out. Like I say, business is trial and error. Over time, you'll find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and then you adjust accordingly. So the first month, I wasn't trying out any of the marketing techniques I'm trying out now, and so after switching up, I've only been doing these new marketing techniques for about a little over maybe 2 weeks or so. Not even 2 weeks, and I'm already seeing exponential growth. I'm getting traffic, getting a bunch of leads, getting a bunch of calls about the cleaning business. And the main thing I'll say, when you provide service based businesses or any business that you gotta, it's customer facing, client facing a lot, and you work with clients, you're always trying to generate leads, be willing to pick up the phone. That's half the battle. Like honestly, that 75% of the battle is just answering the phone. I can't tell you, since I started like the last couple weeks starting this new marketing. I won't mention who it is. We'll talk about that in a later episode. But I'll mention on Twitter often. But since I started my new marketing, I can't tell you how many people I get calls from, and they're just like, oh, thank God you answered. So I just say, always be willing to answer the phone. And if you're not going to answer the phone, give a call back. Like it's plenty of people I've also had call me recently, and I missed the call because I was doing something else and I was busy at the time. But I was able to call them back and secure a booking. And so that's why I say always be open to answering every call. I understand some of y'all are real leery about that with the spam calls nowadays. But I have a nice system set up where I just answer everything. With spam, oh well, you can just hang up. So I answer all calls, and just willing to be personable with these people, because at the end of the day, they're willing to spend their money with you or take the time to consider spending their money with you. So just provide them with a good experience, and at the end of the day, the rest will take care of itself. I've also learned don't second guess prices, because that's what I spent the first probably 3 weeks doing, because of the platforms I was on trying to generate leads. A lot of those people price shop and they want the cheapest possible thing. They want the most for the cheapest. And so you have to understand, like, I was out here 2, 3 times a day changing up prices. You can't really do that, like, because you have to also understand I have contractors that work for me, so I'm employing people and they get paid based off me. So if I start lowering my prices, it's going to affect their pay. And some of the times it'll be detrimental to what I promised when I brought them on to work with me. So just keep that in mind, people, when y'all start these businesses. But specifically back to me with the cleaning business, it's been going good. Second month, I'm only 9, 10 days in to March, and yeah, 9 days into March. No, 10 days into March. Yeah, so 10 days into March, I'm at 2,000 in revenue for the month. I still got 21 days to go for this month. Can't remember 30 or 31 days, but I still got 21 days to go for this month, and I'm already projected right now $2,000 off of my bookings out right now. That's not anything. If I was just to stop right now taking calls, any bookings for this month, I'm at 2 grand. So that's huge to me, because originally my goal was to start off just securing $1,000 a month, and the first month was low. I had like probably one book in my first month, and it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of waiting to get on other platforms like I'm on now. So now that I'm secured on these platforms that I've been waiting to get verified on, it's just exponential growth, man. So all I say is, man, just keep. In this business, I gotta always say this: just keep hiring. A lot of people will say they want to work for you, say they're willing to come do what buy into the vision, and then you try to give them a chance, and they're not going to show up. And I've had that happen. I mean, that's part of the game, and business. That's just part of business. Period. I mean, it is what it is. Are you going to let that deter you, or are you going to adjust and make something happen? So So what I chose to do is I chose not to let that hinder me. But like I say, I'm always hiring. I pay very well to all my cleaners that work for me. I have a nice group of women that work for me right now, and they do a great job. I can't complain. And like I say, I'm just always looking to expand the team. So that's what I'm in the process of now, trying to bring on more people. I have a goal right now that I'm aiming for. I want every cleaner I bring on to bring in 5K a month of revenue. So, that'll be tremendous for me, and not only for me, but it'll be great for them as well. And I mean, that's how I think about things when I do the business. And then you have to understand that's part of the game when you're a business owner. You're going to eat last, but eventually you'll get to a point to where the business runs itself where you can make money in your sleep. And almost that's what happens with this. Like I've made bookings in my sleep just because, I sent somebody a quote, or they went on my website and they booked the cleaning. So it's definitely possible. Just don't quit so early. And when you get started, understand, like, a lot of people have these questions to me. Well, like, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work? What are you gonna do if things don't work out in your favor, or how you see fit, or whatever you plan for yourself with this cleaning business? And for me, I'm just like, I think about it the other way, because I posted something on Twitter the other day. I wanted to come on here and talk about it. Like, what if things work out in the end? What if everything works out the way it should work out? Like, nobody ever thinks about that. They don't think about the scenario of, oh wow, this actually worked out and everything is, going as planned. Like I say, you'll have hiccups in between. You'll have things where you have to adjust and pivot and do things that, may make you a little uncomfortable, and that's fine. It's growth. But at the end of the day, your ability to withstand all the little things and get through them will show you it's not that big of a deal at all. They're very small and they're like a blip on the radar. So you have to understand if things do actually work out in your favor, hey, it was all worth it. So I challenge people, right now. I talk to me, well, stop being lazy and start thinking about the other side of things. Start thinking about what if it does work out in the end. And at the end of the day, that's all that you have to think about when you're doing this. But you also have to go take action. It's not enough to think about just to think it. You have to go and do. A lot of y'all I hear people actually hit me up now asking about the cleaning business and stuff like that, and is it worth it? And I'm just like, it's what you make of it. That's all I can tell you. To me, it's a great thing. Hartzog's, Harchimony, Anthony, and Janilka, they give you a step-by-step booklet. They give you the contracts. They give you literally everything you need to get started. You really don't even have to think. All you got to do is just follow some videos. They give you a step-by-step on what you need to do to be successful. So I say go take care of that. Go cop the course and just start taking action immediately. Probably took me a few weeks to get everything up and running. I'll probably say like 3-4 weeks, and then you have to wait a little bit on the website. You might have to do a couple tweaks to that. So like 4 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks, and you're good to go. And if you got a job, because I was working at my 9 to 5 at the time. We're talking about probably 4 to 5 weeks to get going. That's with a whole nother job. So there's definitely no excuse as to why you can't get going, besides the fact that you want to be lazy about things. So just take a little initiative, and once it gets set up, all you gotta do is your research and price your services, and after that, it's just about finding leads and hiring people. So I definitely say type into their course. They give you everything A to Z on how to be successful. I've gone through the course a few times. I'm still holding off on the SEO portion of it, just because I'm not at that point yet in my business where I want to tap into that. So I'm leaving that video for another day. But I definitely say if you want to get started with a cleaning business, the Harchimony's course, Cleaning Business University is the way to go. They have a community as well, which I tap into often, that you can purchase. It's been very helpful for me. It's nice to be able to bounce ideas off other people. Also, just go back through the past threads, see what works for people, what doesn't work for people, things of that nature. But like I say, you never know what's going to work for you because everybody's different. Location is important as well. So just give it a go if you want to get into it. Try it out. I chose to go this route due to the fact that there's not a lot of overhead. I don't have to go clean homes, so I'm basically getting paid to be a middleman. To me, that's the best way to go. Same thing with Turo. I was a middleman. I was a little bit more active in Turo because I had to go drop off cars for deliveries myself, and I had to go get them washed, all that stuff, clean them out. So I was a little bit more active in my Turo business. But what I will say is, it was good running that. But this one right here, this is gonna be the one for me, right? Like this is where my focus is, outside of doing IA work. So I'll be doing IA work and this, and everything else, I'm gonna take net profits from all this stuff and I'm gonna funnel it into investing. Y'all know how I go, man. Ain't nothing changed. Real estate, stocks, crypto, my bread and butter. So that's what I'm gonna always funnel my money into. I'm gonna just, you work so hard and you do all these things because you want to achieve generational wealth and you want to see that. You want to get your freedom, right? People say they want their time back. They want to achieve a certain financial status. They want to get wealth. Well, the main thing about getting that wealth is the end game. So where are you funneling your money to when you bring it in? Are you bringing in all this money and it's just going out, getting spent on random stuff that ain't generating you no money, ain't an asset to you, just a bunch of liabilities that's costing you money? Or is it coming in and being dispersed out into, things like stocks or crypto or real estate or something? Or maybe you're starting up a business, that you're investing in the business to scale it. Something that's going to generate a return on the investment. That's what people need to think about. So I just want everybody to take that into consideration. Think about the bigger picture here. Most of us and most of y'all that tune into this, y'all in y'all's 20s, man. Some of y'all are a little younger than that. A couple of y'all are a little older, but for the most part, most of us are in our 20s, myself included. So to me, it's like, hey, let's run with this. Let's take advantage of having time on our side, and let's start putting money in assets that's going to generate us money while we sleep. You want that's what you want. You want money that's going to be made when you ain't got to do nothing. Passive income, passive. I don't want to be actively doing anything. Like in this business right here with this cleaning business, only active thing I gotta do is answer some phone calls and coordinate. I pay for marketing, but hey, the return on the investment, now that I found these new avenues, well worth the investment. Well worth the price. So I mean for it's like for every dollar I spend, I'm making four. And I mean, I'm just talking, but I'm definitely making. I haven't really crunched the numbers yet. I'll crunch them after this month, and probably give you that on the next update if we have time or if I have a opportunity to do another business update. But I'll try to do it once a month. So I just want y'all to think though, man. What if it does work out in the end? That's something nobody really talks about. Everybody wants to ask the what ifs. And there's always negative what ifs. What if this happens or what if it goes wrong? What if that let's just talk about what if everything goes right. And I mean, everything ain't gonna go right. But what if it works out in the end, even after all the stuff that you thought could go wrong? You get through it, and then you look at your results, and it's more than you even thought possible. Because that's where I'm at right now. I was telling myself in 4 months, I want to have at least $1,000 I'm bringing in a month in revenue. I'm already at two bands for the month, and we end number 10 days in or so. So that's why I say, and at the end of the day, it's all on you. If you're not where you want to be in life, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror, and that's the person you have to blame because it ain't nobody else's fault. I know people love to blame it like on their situation and how they came up and all of this. And none of us was born rich. Most of y'all that listening to this episode and that tune into the podcast, we ain't come from money, but that don't mean we can't go get it. That don't mean we can't create for ourselves. So I just keep reiterating this to people that it's all on you at the end of the day and what you're willing to sacrifice. I don't have to do these podcasts. I want to sacrifice my time to provide y'all with some quality content though. And then also give y'all updates on my journey because a lot of people inquire about my journey on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And, just regular people will text, like my friends will text me sometimes and ask me about things I got going on. So this is a good way to, bring people along on a journey and just kind of give y'all an inside peek at what I have going on. But like I say, man, the goal for this cleaning business, year one, man, we, not even 2 months in, but year one, I want to hit 100K. I want to hit six figures year one. And that is my focus right now. That'll definitely come to fruition if everything goes as planned. So, I mean, like I say, I want 5K per cleaner. That's my goal for each cleaner I bring on. I want them to do 5K. That's what I'm working on getting them up to for clientele, and what I'm willing to, revenue. That's where I'm at. But ultimately, my goal for year one is six figures at the end of the year, which I think is more than possible for me to do, especially now that I found my groove. And like I say, it'll be a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of work you're gonna have to put in, but it'll all be worth it in the end. And like I say, what if it does work out in the end? So I challenge everybody out there, man. And like I say, business ain't for everybody. It's a lot of y'all that tune in that are just investors. It's a lot of y'all that's trying to learn and just see where you may want to, what route you may want to take. I was an investor for the longest. I was, little small side hustles here and there, but not a full out business, Like this is my second time doing like a full out business where I'm trying to actually scale and grow. Turo was great, but I saw something that was a better opportunity for me in my situation and where I'm trying to anchor myself to go in the future. And so I'm trying to scale this thing up. I'm trying to branch out into other cities, trying to scale this thing up to where eventually I can sell it off. And that's my goal, So I'm gonna make this a 7-figure business, man. Y'all heard it here first. And just know, man, just stay on the lookout. I'll be doing business updates probably every month or every other month. Every so often I'll give y'all a business update. May even be on some episodes with guest. I might do one, but I try to keep the guest episodes focused on what the topic or subject is, on what they got going on, just to provide y'all with the most value. So I might just start. I'm supposed to be having a co-host starting soon. doing monthly episodes with me, and I'm probably have a couple other people coming on doing a couple recurring episodes with me just to talk about certain hot topics, man. When you start talking about the journey, entrepreneurship, building wealth, investing, all of that. So I told y'all, man, 2022. I didn't expect my life to get this hectic, but I'm still gonna be working on getting out as much content as possible. Uh, Probably next month, I'll be back up to getting out 2 videos a week on YouTube. Um, I'm shooting for 3 a week by the end of the year. But for right now, I'm gonna work on getting up to 2 a week. So y'all have the podcast, and I'll do like a one-off episode on whatever topic I might get a DM about or something like that. I do have a couple episodes I do need to upload. Just been trying to get them edited. So I do have a little stockpile of episodes I've been neglecting to get out, and I'm gonna get those out for sure. But just stay tapped in. I always fail to mention this, but please go review. Leave us a rating and a review for the podcast. I get all y'all listeners, but I don't really get any reviews. And reviews are what help the algorithm. It helps get this podcast out to other people. I do appreciate all y'all that tune in, but hey, let's spread this thing, man. Let's spread wealth for the culture to the masses. Let's get everybody tapped in. So go out there and drop a review for a brother, man. Just drop a review. And if you have anything that you want to shoot me a DM on what you would want me to talk about on these solo episodes, definitely feel free to hit my DMs on Twitter or Instagram. You already know, man. Wealth for the culture with a K on Instagram. Wealth culture with a K on Twitter. It's all in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man, and be on the lookout for a lot of videos. But I definitely do appreciate everybody for tapping in with me, man. Hopefully you look in the mirror tonight, man, or whenever you listen to this episode, and you just kind of evaluate your life and where you're going and what direction you're going in. And I hope that you think like, hey, either you're already on the path to where you want to be, or you're going to head to that path. You're going to, alter your path and go onto this path where you're going to achieve greatness. And like I say, man, just always think about what if everything works out in the end? That's something that you really need to consider because it's possible. And I'm living proof of that. Like, don't doubt yourself. Be willing to bet on you. If you won't bet on you, how can you depend on somebody else to bet on you and take a chance on you? A lot of people hit me up as for mentorship, or they'll hit up other people as for mentorship, and it's like, well, hey, bet on yourself enough to be willing to take some action. You got me? So I just want to say, thank y'all for tuning in. You already know, man. Like I say on every episode, we're good at success. If everyone around you is still struggling, man, each one reach one, each one teach one, man. It's another episode of Wealth for the Culture. It is your host, Ollie Brady, and we are out, man.